Greetings and welcome to our field navigation tutorial. Before we start, let's have a look at 3 essential tools we need at a bare minimum. First, we need a compass. Holding K will bring up the compass. It gives us the cardinal directions, north, east, southwest, and it also gives us the bearing and the milts. Milts in that sense don't really matter, we don't look at them. Bearings is the inner circle numbers. In this case, I'm looking at bearing 120. So if I now want to find out in what direction of me that billboard over there is, I just aim with my compass at the billboard and I can read now that I'm roughly 134, 134 is the direction from me towards the billboard, or southeast. It's southeast of me. Next up, the map. We can open the map by pressing M and it will bring us the map. Next up is the map tools. Map tools are essential. How do I get them? A self-interact map tools shows small map tools we do not use, so we do not need the normal map tools. Show small map tools. Here they pop up. Looking familiar. Inner circle, bearing, outer circle. Milts are used for artillery and in most parts not really interesting. On the other side we have the ruler with measurements, and this is 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. The small lines are increments of 100 meters, and then the real small ones are increments of 10 meters. So now I want to create a marker at a bearing of 320 from marker 1 at a distance of 600 meters. What do? I center the map tools onto my base location. With holding Alt and left mouse, I can now rotate it around and I'm gonna select bearing 320. Now I can put the 0 of my ruler onto it and can now measure the 600 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500, 600. There we go. Just naming it marker 2. Marker 2 is at a bearing of 320 from marker 1 at a distance of 600 meters. Knowing that, I can now perform resection. Resection is a method on locating myself on the map. As you can see, I do not have a GPS, but I really would like to know where I'm at. So let's start looking around. What we need is 2 landmarks which we need to find on the map. Then we're going to get our direction to the landmarks, and with the map tools we can draw a line in that direction, and where both of the lines intersect, that is our location. So looking around, I got the power lines behind me, I got mountains. The issue is I have a lot of mountains in the background. It's going to be probably hard to find them. And I'm not on a peak of a mountain either. The power line itself will be on the map, but if you look around, the power lines on the map here, you don't see the individual posts, you only see the power lines as a whole, so it will help me orientate myself. So I need to be somewhere around a power line, and this seems to be a dual power line, so it can't be that one. So I guess it could be any of, well, it could be this one. Yeah, we'll see. So it helps me locating landmarks I spot and hopefully find them on the map. It will not necessarily help me right now as a reference point. Next up, I see these buildings. It's probably hard to find these buildings on the map. I would need to have more details. I could run over there and investigate, or can keep looking around. Oh, I think I see the sea in the distance. Yep, that's the sea. So that's pretty good. I know now that I'm relatively close to the coast. If I look at the map, I can see like I got a coast on the east and on the south. What direction is the water from me? Southeast. And to the east I see still there's land. So I can't be over here on that side, because I probably wouldn't see land east of me, I must be somewhere down here where there's still gonna be land east of me, like here, or like whatever. So I probably am somewhere on the southern coast, near the power line. I need more reference points, and especially need a reference point I can find on the map. There we got a train track in the background. Train track is same as power lines. Obviously, the train tracks in red here, they go all around the coast as it seems, so I need more than just a train track. But I also can see this intersection, so there's a crossing and there's this intersection right in front of the crossing. I might gonna be able to find that on the map. I can also look around further, see if I can find other reference points. So I got a village here, a cluster of buildings and some more clusters in the background. These long buildings are probably quite distinctive. The shapes of the building are also represented on the map, so if you got these longer buildings or more distinctive shapes, it's probably easier to find. These little smaller houses, they all sort of have the same blueprint or the same size on the map, so it's going to be hard to differentiate them. I also can see this pond over there. So we got a pond and a little village of small huts and buildings and a barn. So maybe we can find that one because it's also close to a train track on one side and the power line on the other side. So let's see if we can find that. So let's follow the train tracks. So here there's no power line close. Here neither. Here's the power line, here's the train track, and I believe here, that looks to me like the pond. Changing the map view, yeah, only satellite imagery, that suggests from texture, that could be the pond. I have a longer building in the background of it, check. Got two regular buildings, and these seems to be smaller buildings at this T-junction. Let's have a look. Alright, there could be a road. Is that a road? Yeah, that could be that road alongside the train tracks here. There's probably a road inside that since they're lined up on it. We got the two larger buildings. That should be those two. That one should be the third. And we got these little huts here. How many do we have from out that building? 1, 2, 3. See one. I think there might be the second there. That could be the third. I think this is that region over here. I'm pretty sure about that. I can look further if I can find a distinctive reference point I will use. So this shed will be that thing, and the buildings looks like that. And if I'm not mistaken, that silo over there, it should be that red thing. I'm not sure though. Let's use this corner building here. So that must be that building. So what I do now is I need the direction to that building. So let's open our compass and we can see it's around 109 or 100, yeah, around 109 bearing. So we take our map tools and we line them up. So one thing we could do is we could just add or subtract 180 because then we sort of reverse the direction. Instead of direction from us to that house, it will be direction from the house towards us, or we can leave it as it is. We basically need to line the map tools in a way that the ruler is lined up with the direction. One way we can do this, we can now select like 109, or we can go with the easy way. Self-interact map tools align map tools to compass. It aligns the map tools to the direction we're looking at. Now it is exactly aligned with the direction we're looking at. I place the outer edge over the building, and if I now draw alongside the map tools, and I keep drawing on the map tools, it will create this accurate or more or less accurate line. So now we know we need to be somewhere on this line. It makes sense. Here there's the train intersection, the intersection and the train crossing we had earlier on the map. So I could use that as a reference point now. I can also look around if I find other reference points. These should be the buildings I spotted earlier. There's an antenna as it seems, so can I find the antenna right now? So we got the buildings over there, these buildings. There needs to be the antenna, and oh, I think there is the antenna, pretty sure. Is there any other antenna in that direction? No, that must be it. It sort of makes sense, it's surrounded by forest. We got this one building there, with a little bit of departure and a little different angle. The other building, that sort of makes sense. Let's just use that one as a reference. Again, I look at it, because then I don't need to manually set the heading. I just align the map towards the compass again, put the ruler part onto that antenna, and draw myself the line. Now I know that I am roughly in that vicinity where these lines intersect. I mean, obviously there's a little bit of wiggle room here because the lines are quite thick and it's not going to be 100% accurate, but I know I'm somewhere in this location, which sort of makes sense. It goes downhill, and I've got the power line over here, so I should be somewhere in these grid areas. And this is how you can find your location on the map using resection or using 2 reference points. What I could also do instead as a checkup, I can use triangulation. I can use a 3rd waypoint. So we spotted this road crossing, so let's use this road crossing as a 3rd reference point. So we just align ourselves with this railroad crossing, align our map towards, and draw ourselves a 3rd line. And as you can see, yep, it intersects once more in the area, so we need to be somewhere around here. This is how we can position ourselves. 2 landmarks are usually enough. Resection is enough. Triangulation, not really necessary. Scenario: we spotted an enemy BTR and now we want to accurately mark it on the map in order to effectively call, for example, artillery or airstrike, or just a general notification for other units about the position of this BTR. Let's assume we would be in a squad leader position, then we most likely will have a rangefinder in case with this vector. With pressing tab, it will display us the bearing. It's bearing 124 from our position. With holding R until the red circle appears and releasing then, it gives us the distance. It's 624 meters away from us. This is the direct distance, meaning the distance from the rangefinder directly to the BTR. Problem is, our map is 2-dimensional, so we need a 2-dimensional distance. How can we do that? We tap R once, and right after we hold R like we would normally range it, and it will give us 2 values. Left is the horizontal distance, 620 meters, you see there's a 4 meter difference, and minus 70 means the target is 70 meters below our current position. So what we need to do now is we need to open the map and mark it. We know it's 620 meters horizontally, horizontal distance 620 meters away from us. So we get our map tools. As you know, we could now like remember the bearing and manually select it, or we just go self-interact, align map tools to compass. Here we can see my position. I'm Alpha Squad Lead in this scenario. So I can straight away place the 0 of the ruler onto my position, and now 620 meters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600, 620, so 600, 610, 620 meters. So I can just create a marker on that location Now I marked BTR1 accurately on the map. So this is how you can mark something you've spotted accurately on the map within no time. And I could now call in a artillery whatsoever or call it out. And it's reliably, accurately marked on the map. Obviously, you're not always gonna end up doing it that method. If the BTR, for example, would be at this road crossing, at this intersection, and just would be a couple of meters away from it, you just basically find that intersection on the map or the crossing and just mark it off that, right? You then go off landmarks.